Hi everybody, welcome to the beginning of week 2. I'm sure it's pretty surprising that by now a whole week has gone by, though many of you are quite busy in schools and days fly by anyway. I'd like to pick up and sort of have a discussion about some of the things I've seen as I've been grading last week. First of all, I want to say thank you for getting your work in on time. It's much appreciated. It makes it very easy when I'm going in and grading and evaluating your work to have all of your responses there rather than waiting for them to trickle in late. As a side note, as we move forward, I will start docking for late work unless there is a specific email or reason given to me by you. A part of the expectation of these courses and of a master's degree is that there's a great degree of responsibility on your part. Making sure that you submit things on time is a large part of that. It's a part of the grade for the course. It's part of how I evaluate you. It also matters for people who are responding to your posts. Part of the grade in here is to not only do your own work, but to give feedback to other people as well. So please make sure you're doing things on time. Another note, some of you asked questions about how I evaluate writing and how I evaluate your responses. In most cases, I look at writing comprehensively. I don't worry about little grammatical errors, small typos, things like that. I care much more about the larger message you are trying to convey. With that said, if the work and the writing gets in the way of me understanding your larger message, I will absolutely give you feedback on that and let you know that there were particular issues with your writing. This goes for not only your journal entries, but for your large papers that you're writing. An expectation of this course and of a master's degree is that you have an ability to write, and that ability to write shows up in your ability to communicate big ideas, not only to me, but to other people in the course. I also wanted to comment on your journal entries. I thought they were fantastic. The questions you asked about who owns practice were great. A lot of interesting responses ranging from individuals to the government to I have no idea. I hope that over the course of the term we'll be able to dig more deeply into that particular question. With response to your initial research questions, your initial topic areas, I want to encourage you and actually push you to start thinking more specifically. Many of you have broad interests. You've outlined 3 areas that have a lot of possibility for research, but as phrased right now, they are much too broad for you to pursue at a local level. And by this, I mean you simply cannot answer some of the questions you've proposed. They are too broad, require too much data, and most of all, I'm concerned that they're not tenable for you at a local level. As in, if you're doing an action research project or you're trying to do work in your own classroom, these questions are much too broad to answer in your own classroom. So I want to encourage you to think about, what are you curious about in your own classroom? And then once you decide on what you're curious about in your own classroom, start designing and thinking about how you would be able to study that. Don't start with the big, broad questions related to education. Though those are interesting, they're very difficult to gain a foothold on in your individual classroom. You might ask questions about student thinking, about how classroom instruction affects student thinking, about the role of technology in a particular project. Any of these things are fine, but I want to make sure that you think specifically rather than globally. And with that, as we start moving forward on the literature review, I want to make sure that once you have targeted a specific area for your research project or your interest area, that you also begin seeing if there's literature in that area. I linked you to a course website that was created by the library here at OSU. I encourage you to get on there, start using it, poking around, seeing if you can find certain articles, things that might drive or pique your interest. So this week and next week are Module 2. We have a lot of things going on in them. Those are pretty clearly outlined. All of them are encouraging you to begin moving forward on your lit review. So keep in touch. Let me know if things come up, and Allison or I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks.